Greetings, unsettled souls, and welcome to the Correct Views. Gonna do a real short one today, dedicated to Charles Ward. He said that I should do shorter shows. It's really impossible to do shorter shows because I don't own an HD camera anymore. And even when I did, it was a very difficult thing to pull off because of I don't have Adobe Premiere, so it's hard to edit them. However, for those of you that like the short ones, I'm going to bring you a real short one today. I wasn't going to post today, but many of you know I got married, and I'm speaking to the married people in the crowd. When you get married, you suddenly, like, bam, you're like you live by yourself. When you're engaged, the person you're engaged to is like, I love spending time with you. And then once you get married, of course, you have all the time in the world. So, to everybody watching, for whatever reason you're watching, I am giving to you questions that no Bernie Sanders supporter can answer. And I bring this up because I have a very good friend who, God bless her, is one of the most intelligent people that I've ever known, who can't answer any of these questions. That's because these questions the answers to these questions don't exist. It's like, what's the temperature of the color blue? It doesn't make any sense. It can't be done. Listen to this. Here are the questions, and I have it in three categories that no Bernie Sanders supporter can answer. Go ahead, ask them these questions. You know a Sanders supporter, ask these questions. One, how can the nation that, and not if not so important in terms of the world interlocking investments together with other nations, any other nation like America is right now, how can a nation that, if not so important in the world in terms of interlocking investments with other nations, be forced to declare bankruptcy, which we would, how can a nation that's basically bankrupt afford Bernie Sanders? Now, let me intercede. Cut the military is not an acceptable answer to the question. It is an acceptable answer to how you would pay for one of his social programs. You could probably give people free health care if you cut out a lot of the wasteful military spending and focused on just keeping us ready for an attack. That is an acceptable answer for one of Bernie Sanders' programs. However, he has a whole slew of them, and they're all more expensive than the other ones. So no, there is not enough money in the military that can be cut that will pay for any more than one of Sanders' programs. Therefore, while cutting the military spending will help, it is not the answer of what to pay, or how, excuse me, it is not an answer that will pay for Sanders and his expensive ways. Two, Bernie Sanders thinks, in the age of ISIS, as the nation sees the middle class dying right in front of him, no less, that man-made global warming is the biggest threat to us. So here's a two-part question. A, how can the planet be warming when there has not been an increase in temperature in the last 15 years? There is more ice in Antarctica than ever before. And ClimateGate, look it up, shows that the scientists were emailing each other back and forth about how they lied and were going to lie in order to continue getting funding. This is not a matter of opinion. This is provable fact. What if you're watching this and you think, oh my God, I hate this guy? It's fine. You can hate me. It's okay. I'll be all right. It's still fact. So how are we warming the planet? Now, the other answer to this is I have a friend lives in California, and they are cooking. Obviously, there's lack of rain. But if you look up what California has been, for instance, for the last 1,000 years, California has been an inhospitable, dry, miserable place. And it's only been the last 200 years, which geologically speaking is a millisecond. Gone, done. It's only been that tiny blip in history, the last 200 years, that California has been livable. So the fact that California is turning into a roasting hellhole that represents that copies the surface temperature maybe of Mercury. I'm being facetious, but California is not. You can. Everyone points to California. It's getting warmer. You can see California is just going back to what California has always been. That does not change the fact that global temperatures have not, that means the whole planet, has not gone up for 15 years. Some studies say 19 years. Second part of the question, even if man was warming the planet, which he is not, on what grounds does that become more pressing than a bankrupt nation, which we are? ISIS, ask the people in Paris, outsourcing, and the death of the middle class, and with it the American dream, to name but a few comparatively. You tell me how that's worse. And three, in what is a very short show, the third question that no Bernie Sanders supporter can answer. And there are many questions in this. It regards, the third topic, I should say, it regards immigration. Bernie has suggested, while never outright saying it, that Donald Trump's view on immigration are racist views. How can Mr. Trump be racist when he is the only candidate that wants to make it easier and cheaper to enter the nation illegally? What about that is racist? And you can look this up. Right now, I like to always say we're selling the American dream. If you can afford to get here, you can get here. If you want to, if you want to take 3 years of your life trying to get it, you shouldn't have to go through all that. If you've got the drive and you've got the will, that's fine. We have no problem with you being here. And that's what Trump believes. How is that racist? Two, how is letting ourselves be potentially bombed by letting anyone over the border of any skin color not racist? Three, how is wanting to make sure that Americans of all races, doesn't matter what race you are if you're an American, how is it wanting to make sure that Americans of all races get employed at decent rates instead of giving our future away to people who cheated to get here? How is that racist? And the last question is saying that we need to hire brown-skinned races at slave wages, pay them less than everybody else, and exploit them for our workforce, then is that not racist? That seems quite racist to me. And there you go, friends. That's it. It's a bonus show. I'll do a regular show tomorrow. Go ahead and post this around. Post it to everyone. Ask them. Answer these questions about Bernie Sanders. I bet they can. You're listening to The Correct Views, friends. You can donate to the show at thecorrectviews on hotmail.com. Every penny you give to me goes towards a better show. Good night, friends. God bless. Brought to you by Sticker Junkie.